Hi there. Now, this next lot of clips, we're going to look at using movement and the planes of movement to generate power. Now, little caveat for you here. Most people look at these clips and they think it's all fake and stuff like that because of the reactions of people when they're getting hit. I can assure you it's not fake. We do, for the last 20 years or so, we've been showing people how to generate massive power. Anybody who's been in trained with us can attest to the fact that the power levels are very different and that this power goes right deep inside the body. It's not a surface hit, it's a really deep, horrible strike that goes in. Anyway, have a look at the clip, we'll have a chat about it. Okay, combining these movements now. The easiest one to combine them with first is a hammer fist. It's for somebody who's done no training before. In fact, if you've done lots of training before, it's still one of your best techniques should you ever require it for self-defense purposes. The reason we use a hammer fist is that it doesn't matter how hard you hit something, within reason of course, you shouldn't really damage your hand if you hit a solid object. Maybe you would miss and hit the wall or something like that. Try hammering a wall, you can hammer it all day long. Try punching a wall, you're going to break your hand. Okay, so a hammer fist and a slap are some of the best things you could use purely because you don't damage yourself. Okay, so the hammer fist, again, just make a fist and you're going to hit down just like you're hammering something, hence the name. Remember that your body must lead and then the hammer fist would land. So your body leads and then the strike goes in. Now, these pads that we use, just to explain, they take out an enormous amount of impact. An enormous amount. You can hit these with a sledgehammer and the other guy should still be okay, which is why we use them, so we can start to put a little bit more power in when we hit. The other thing you've got to do is when you're practicing is to make sure that you don't hit on the pad. You're hitting through it. So if the pad wasn't there, you'd have gone right through. Too many people just hit and stay there. So they tend to practice like this rather than right through. So that's another important point. So you get your training partner just to lean back slightly so that this pad, because it's very firm, simulates that angle for you. Okay. So we're going to show you a very slow burst, just a touch and in, just a touch. The body goes first and in. So from here, body first and in. And then you gradually build it up so that your training partner knows what's coming. So I'll just do a little one, Steve. So see. Build it up. Build it up. Until you get up to about 20-30% power. You see the effect it's starting to have on the body. The other important thing is this other hand. Okay? You notice that I'll be touching the pad when I hit. The reason for that, of course, is that once your hand is on somebody, you know exactly where everything else is. And you can practice this yourself at home. Just as an example, very quickly, if my hand is on Steve's shoulder, I know where everything else on his body is. Even with my eyes are shut, I can still find what I want. Okay? And it also gives you the right distance, so you know you're in exactly the right place. As soon as your hand touches, you know you can strike. Again, this strike will be done on the top of the chest. It's too much to hit somebody in the face with it, there's no point. So you practice on here, put your hand on, get the move. I just hit a little one, Steve. Put the hand on, the movement correct, and drop it in and down. Pick it up, and down. Okay? We'll move on to some more in a moment. Simple application for this hammer fist is we use what we call a split, just to show you if somebody's got their hands up in front of you. Okay, some people would knock them down and move in, that's fine. But when you take the body in one plane, which we'll come on to later on in this, when you take the body in one plane, it can resist it. If you take it in two or more planes, angles if you like, the body can't resist. So we use what's called a split. So we would knock one hand one way and one hand the other, and the body finds it very difficult to resist what's going on because it doesn't know, because several things are happening at once. So we would split and then hammer. Okay, so you make yourself strong, Steve. So when you split, you come into here, and then the hammer goes in, and then that's about it, really. Oops. Sorry. That's split and hammer from another angle, so it's easier to see. Again, somebody's got their hands up, whatever. All you're going to do is just split these. One goes up, one goes down, and then the hammer goes straight in. Make sure, if you're going to hammer first, that the one that knocks them up is the one that you want to hit with. Right? Just to make that clear. So again, it's here, you just split and hammer. Okay? We'll move on to some more in a moment. The next one in application is this side-to-side movement. I'm going to show you this way, and then we'll show you this way. So as a slap, to train this, make sure this is roughly in line with the center of your body. Make sure that when your hand hits, that there's a bend in your elbow. That is critical. There's a bend in your own elbow. The reason being that you're going to hit now with that much power that if you have a straight arm and you hit, you're going to break your own elbow. So basically your lower arm will be left where it is, your torso will come around here, and you're going to leave your elbow back here somewhere. It's going to be snapped right off. So make sure you've got this bend. It's absolutely critical that you do that. The reason, again, to not have a straight arm is that holding this pad against the body, it's very difficult to move it. If the slap was delivered against the head gives a lot more. But obviously you can't practice that all day long. So on here, you don't get anywhere near the give, so you must make sure that this elbow is bent for your own safety. So to practice it, I won't hit yet, Steve. To practice it, you just hold your hand here, let the body go, and then the slap. Body goes, then the slap. Again, we're making this big and obvious for you. As you get better with it, you'll shrink these movements down. But I don't want you to bring it back here. I've seen a lot of people teaching slapping and they say start from here, and then when they actually do the slap, they go like this. There's an illusion of your hand moving backwards when you do it correctly, because your body moves, but your hand stays where it is. Okay? Your hand stays where it is, your body moves. So that's the illusion sometimes that the hands move back, but it hasn't. So I want you to make sure you see that. The body moves, and the hand has stayed where it is before it starts its motion. Instead of this. Okay, instead of doing this. Because people pull the hand back to get the tension in the shoulder to get what they think is power. You can get that just by moving the body and leaving the hand where it is. So, the hand goes to strike it. Okay. And obviously that will be delivered to the side of the head. So from here, again just to show one more. On that side-to-side movement, we went this way and this way. So you've got a backhand as well. So from here to here. Okay, I'll just do it like this. Again from here. Again, it's not this. Again, you have the illusion of movement by the body going first. So from here and here. Again, with the back slap, you don't really need to look. This goes in. Here, the body, then the stride. Again, slowly for you. Body, then the stride. And just let your hand be loose when it lands. So from here and in. Okay? We'll come on to some more on that in a moment. Right, that side-to-side movement in application, it would be coming into here. Okay. So you just land here. Don't need to hit the ear, don't want to worry about perforate the eardrums and things like that. Anywhere around here. It just creates massive shock in the system. So it just goes in here. Okay. So if his hands were up, for example, you might just knock everything. And that's basically the end of it. Oops. You okay? Yeah. Oops. Sorry. Sorry about that. And that's with a head guard on, and from just a few inches away, you've got to imagine what it's like with right through, or adding the 45 in, it does get quite nasty. So be very, very careful when you practice it. So we've done a lot of this. Steve's been training with us for a long, long time, so he knows exactly what to do and how to take it. We know what we're doing as well. So you must be very, very, very careful in training. Okay, move on to some more in a moment. Okay, so you've had a look at those clips. Right, now then, here's some things, right? Again, you must remember that we're taking this stuff in isolation and showing it for you so that you can understand it and learn how to use it. Okay, now obviously you're going to mix it in with dynamic movement, entries, exits, all sorts of things. But this is the base, this is the foundation, if you like. Just like if you're learning boxing, you'll stand there and you'll be doing your shadows, with the mirror there and all sorts of things, where you're learning the movement. And you'll be learning it on the back, maybe on pads, maybe with a partner paired up, taking stuff in isolation to learn different ways of movement and getting the basic structure correct. And that's what this is. So again, if you looked at somebody just learning to box, and they were stood there throwing out a jab, you say, well, you won't fight like that just standing there. You'd be moving. Of course, you've got to learn it somewhere. So these clips are that not lower level, but that foundational level of instruction, and something that people need to understand. Oh, the other thing you need to understand, press like and subscribe and press the notification bell algorithm. That's all I'm saying. Don't know anything more about it. That's what they told me to say. In fact, they gave me a big thing to say, but whatever. Like, subscribe, and bell. Basically, that's all you got to do. Anyway, so these strikes. Now, a little one for you here. One of our guys, a special constable, which is like unpaid police officer for those not in the UK. Years ago, learnt this slap and back slap stuff. Only a little itty bitty guy out on patrol with a real officer. 4 old boys kicking off. Our guy jumped in, bang, 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 wallop. All 4 done, dusted, sparked. That was within a few hours of learning it. And we've got hundreds of stories like that with officers that we've taught, been able to use it straight away. Security people, normal people, whatever you want to call ourselves, every single time, no problem. As long as you're getting that movement right, it works wonders for you. It makes a huge increase in power. Help professional fighters get massive increases in power as well. And here's the thing, right? Somebody who doesn't hit very hard and you get them to hit hard, obviously you're getting like a double or a trebling of power for somebody like that. You can really massively increase their power. It makes a huge difference. For top level, high level professional fighters, you might only get a couple of a percent or 5% or whatever. But if you can get lots of little 1s, 2s, 3s, 4, 5% increases in effectiveness and power and speed and this and that and the other, all of a sudden you're having a dramatic effect on that person. So it's not to be taken lightly. Just a slight increase in power can make a huge difference for you when you add in other little differences that you can make. Because remember this again, we're taking stuff in isolation, so we're breaking it down so that we can truly understand it. And if you're doing that as well, you will truly understand what you're doing and you will be able to make massive changes yourself. You can be self-taught and learn how to incorporate these movements and really, really make them work for you. Another little thing for you. Over the years, that clip is many years old now. I think it's 14, 15 years old, something like that. People go, Steve, he's a stooge, he just falls over for you and stuff like that. And people have thought that. Then they've come along to a training session and thought, I'll partner up with that guy off the DVD, off the video. he falls over, and they go and hit him, and he just stands there looking at him. Well, is that it? He is nobody's stooge. Steve is a fantastic martial artist, tough as old boots. So get that one out of your mind straight away. He is no stooge. He is one tough son of a gun, I'll tell you. So, important bits here. Remember, it's in isolation. Train it in isolation, and then start to incorporate it in what you're doing. And you will see massive, massive increases in power very, very quickly. Anyway, that's enough from me. Like, subscribe, and the bell thing. Don't forget that. See you soon. Bye.